Oh, hey, there's that first sheet. Nice. I looked for that for like 20 minutes. I think it's about time to retire it anyway. Look at it.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
so you can reuse the...
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. This one's been used and used and reused. Kind of creates this nice little ghost art effect.
All right, so I'm going to do a little sound check on these mics for me on my side, and then I'll have that view. Big gain on me so that we can hear you talking. We're kind of soft.
Checkity 1 2, testing 1 2.
All right, and then I'll be over here, and that should be good. We'll be right in the yellow there. And then, let's see.
Oh, that's a better position for a camera, isn't it?
Testing. Mine's good. And then you want to talk?
Checking 1 2, testing the audio.
There we go.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I peeking? Peeking in Pekin, Illinois. Peeking and peeking. Am I peeking? That's a better position for a camera, isn't it?
Testing. Mine's good. And then you want to talk?
Checking 1 2, testing the audio.
That's pretty good. There we go.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
As long as they're equal, you can.
Am I peeking? Peeking in Pekin, Illinois. Peeking and peeking.
I do this in such a weird way, though, where it's all mixed analog and then just goes into a screen.
Yeah.
So I never have the individual tracks to mess with. So gotta get the volume right.
Yep. As long as you get it good, you're good.
I'm hitting record. And then, yeah, we'll have like the long form conversation part for the
Right on.
for the Patreon. You got yours over there.
I do. It has us in the screen if we lean in, but that's okay. All right. So
I'm not gonna pair of glasses. Do you want a cup of coffee? I just made some.
I'm gonna have to abstain. Thank you for the offer, though. So this transfer paper comes in these big sheets like this, 24 by 12. So if we fold them in half, it gives us exactly. Sorry, not 24 by 12, but 24 by 18. 18 by 24. So when you cut them in half, they're 12 by 18, which is the size of the sheet that we're using. It's also the size of the prints that I got made.
Nice.
Everything has the same size. That way it's much easier to think about and deal with. There we go. Just have to cut that in half. My little solitary cutting tool.
So we're gonna do it where you transfer it and then I do it, or is there?
No, we'll both have one.
Okay, nice.
I'm about to get us both one going right now. That's why I'm cutting this one in half.
Oh,
One for
perfect.
you and one for me.
Okay. You get set up. Hold that.
So we'll go dark side down, and we're going to tape it exactly to the sheet as close as we can, very carefully, along one edge, and a couple of pieces of tape. Like this.
All right. And so for the Patreon viewers, explain what we're doing today and what I'm going to learn.
Today we are looking at advanced drawing methods for realism approaching photorealism technique. And this will be Tommy's first realistic drawing. Is that right?
First time.
So I'm going to show him my method, which he has seen me do many times. But I have a photo here for him to reference, and we're going to try to draw this random baby number 2 here. And I've got this stuff called graphite transfer paper that if you press it onto, if you draw on it, it will transfer that drawing through to the bottom, to another piece of paper. So we have a thin one and a thick one. We want the thin one.
Good to you.
The thin one. That's the one we're looking for. Thick one will be our reference one. This one we're going to actually draw right on top of. So we'll just tape that along the same axis as the other one. Along the same edge there. I'm drawing a picture of my father. Because I never have before. And I want to give him a good picture that I can draw of him. Excellent. So now if you touch if you push down with your fingernail and mark it like that, you can see that it actually marks. Yeah, it'll actually mark to the bottom. Yeah, check all the way underneath. There you go. That's what you're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a 2B, which is, I'm only using two different kind of pencils here. We're using 6B and 2B. 6B is softer and darker, and that's for the blackest parts of everything. And the 2B is harder and lighter. Now, I got to do some sharpening, so pardon the sound here. Another one coming up. Okay, so we'll use the slightly harder pencil, the 2B, and we're going to do the outline. So what we're really trying to accomplish here is to get your basic shapes as close as you can to the photograph, right? So we have to look at things not with how we think the shapes are, but how they actually are. A lot of times what we have here is these really intense value changes right here. So first thing I want you to do is let's do the whole background. So I want you just to trace a good, nice, firm line to the blackest of the black and just outline to the black part all the way around here, good and sharp, but pay real close attention to the detail there and go all the way around here. And then let's get this huge value change where all this white is, and just let's get that first mark on there, and let's see. Let's look at that when we're done.
Gotcha.
Okay. And I'm going to be doing a similar thing over here with my dad's face and shape. We're basically going to put marks on a 100% nearly of this canvas surface. So it's going to take a little bit of time, up to a couple of hours. I think we can get these two done in less than that. I was just thinking we should re-record that master class on banjo we took.
Yes, we should.
That was a really good lesson. I haven't had any other banjo students.
I'm in. Yeah, once you realize it's just open tuning, it makes it quite an accessible instrument. I think I have the outline.
Groovy. Okay, now same thing with the nostrils and the open mouth. Get the blackest part and outline it. Not what you think the shape is, but actually on the paper what the shape is, right?
Gotcha.
And then the same thing with these darkest, blackest spots. Okay.
All right, I think I got the black.
Okay. Now let's get this. Make sure this line is notated perfectly. This line here. This line here. And we need to get the shape of the nose. So this line here and the upper lip line, we're slowly adding value. Okay. So where this goes from light to dark, that's what we want to value. So let's do the outline of the lips ever so slightly. The shadowing on the chin, we want to go around that. This crevice here, we want to make sure that's in there. This big shadow here, how that's like a just get all that on there.
Gotcha.
Don't be afraid to go a little dark. You can always come back. Also, like just this part here, Now we're adding in all the rest of the detail, everything that we need to make sure that we know that this is a face, and so it doesn't look warped or weird.
Gotcha.
So we added the darkest tones, and now we're adding the second darkest tones. And getting the shape of the major parts of the head. And at some point, go ahead and take a look and see how it's transferring now. And you can kind of see what you're going for after you get a little bit done. Let me see it. Okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You see here where this hair is?
Mm-hmm.
What I like to do for hair. And everybody's got their own techniques and stuff. I kind of just like to show a little bit of the flow direction. I just kind of like follow a few of the strands just so that when I'm on the next page, I can kind of see which directions
Mm-hmm.
the hairs are going. You know, I just get a few marks on there because this part's going to have a lot of pencil on it, right? So just showing a little bit of directionality and flow with the hair. So that'll help give you a reference when you're actually drawing on the other side of it.
Gotcha.
And then you're probably pretty close on your outline of that. There's not a whole lot of detail there. That's why I thought that'd be a really good one for you today. A lot of what Sandra Angelo's book, which is the one that I really learned how to draw from, a lot of what she teaches you is just using your artist's eye and learning to see negative space. Like she has like just pages and pages of exercises to sit and just learn how to draw negative space only. And that helped me a lot with my shapes and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
this method kind of lets you bypass all that in a good way. So if you think you have enough material transferred from the front to the back, then we can start shading at any time.
Yeah, I've got a somewhat recognizable figure of a baby.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. All right. Okay, so you can go ahead and remove those then from the main sheet. And the graphite paper can be reused again, and the other one is just scrap because now you have a good clean one to reference without any markings on it. That's just my personal preference because I feel like when I'm looking at that, I've already marked on it. You know.
There we go. There's our transferred baby. Look at that. I got some detail.
So, yeah. Pardon the sharpening. Okay, there's your black, super black. These ones go dull really fast because they're soft. That's why they're so dark.
Gotcha.
So it's always good to have a couple sharpened up and ready to go. And when you're filling in big fields of that black, sometimes I like to use a pencil that's all lead, right? And they make those in the ultra black like that too. That's what this is.
Okay.
So that you can use to
Just
lay
should I
down.
use that for the background?
You can, yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, first of all, let's clean up some of those marks and stuff. Need a big nice piece of gum eraser. Yeah, just kind of all these little smudges there because that's all supposed to be like super white. Yeah, it'll come off pretty easy. And you'll get into it and back out of it, and it's fine. It's just I always like to try to keep the white spaces pretty pristine if you can,
Mm-hmm.
because it's always easier to, if you never draw on it, you don't have to erase off of it, You'll get it all over you. Graphite gets everywhere. Never notice it until you draw them, but my dad has a really big forehead now that I look at it. All right. Yeah, so I'd say just make this, every bit of this, all the way black. Start with that. Just go all the way to burnish. In Sandra Angelo's book, she says make tight circles, like really, really tight circles. I oftentimes just do whatever.
Because my idea is just to go.
Yeah. Just don't be afraid to go all the way. I mean, you want this color black, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
So there you go. And just be real careful at the edges down there when you're doing that part. It's tactile, isn't it?
Yes.
Kind of fun.
It's mechanical. It's exhausting.
Yes, that part is very exhausting. You already went to the gym this morning too.
My car didn't start. I went for a run. I might need you to help me jump it.
I certainly can. Yeah.
But yeah, it's either the starter or the battery. I don't know. Or sometimes it just gets flooded. I don't know. I've had this happen before where I just go back out an hour later and it starts.
Yeah, we'll check it before I leave if you want.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it was a productive day. I was up at like 7:30. I'm trying to get back into that 9 to 5 feel.
Yeah, my schedule's all screwed up because of the hospital stay. So my hours are a little bit weird. Been going to bed like super early and sleeping late, or super early and getting up early, which is what happened today. Looking good. can sharpen that too if you need to.
When I was in 5th grade, I had an art teacher tell me that I was bad at art. And I've been doing it for a decade, drawing.
Oh yeah,
Just like, oh, I guess I'm just not good at this.
it's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah. And then you look back and it was just, some 26-year-old girl who happened to work at my school. But when you're, in 4th grade, and an authority figure is just like, yep, that's not your thing. You go, okay,
Guess I'm not that, man.
guess I don't do this.
Not my thing.
God forbid you're bad at first and have to practice.
It matters also what you like,
Right.
Yeah, I like that right there. What you're doing, that's exactly the right thing to do.
Tries along the line.
Yeah, and if you need more fine point, there's a couple of 6 feet sharpened it there if you.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Make sure you didn't grab the 2B.
Was it 6B?
Or I might have put 3 of them there for you. All right, let's see. I think I'm almost done with my outline finally.
Wow.
I told you about my friend Joe, who's an artist. He was able to convince me that all artistic talent was simply technique, and that it can always be learned. Up to that point, I did not think of art that way. It was kind of a mainstream way of thinking about artists, is that they're born talented and only the savants really are relevant and all of these things. But it's just a technique that anyone can learn with enough time and forethought.
Yeah, I had a similar thing happen to me when I was in engineering school freshman year, because it was very overwhelming to see the difficulty of the classes and see people doing so well in them. And it was easy to just be like, oh, some people are just really smart, you know, and they just get it. But then someone's like, man, this is like 20% just natural smartness and 80% effort. He's like, anything in that book is learnable if you sit down and read it. He's just like, it might take you longer, it might take you shorter than other people. That's what smart is. But just sitting down and learning it, anyone can like actually sit down and figure it out if they want to. That was like, it was such an interesting way to have it phrased of just like, it's just what you're spending your time doing, you know? And then I was just like, yeah, man, I'm freshman year. I'm just like, you're partying and having fun with people. So of course the class is going to be difficult. You're not paying attention to it all. But yeah, I do agree that it's just, you know, a pursued interest in what you're doing over and over again. Like music, man, the more you play, the better you get. And you got to be okay with not being so good at it the first time you try it.
If you're not okay with it, it's gonna be a hard road.
Right. Yeah, it's like anything, man. Relationship or any type of thing you're trying to do in life, you're gonna be bad at it, you're gonna mess it up, you're gonna get pissed off, and then try to figure it out. If it matters to you, you'll keep at it.
We're always going to be kind of laying down and sculpting and sort of making this image as a sculpting almost, or a sculpture. So now that you've got the background all perfectly nicely blacked out, now let's get that mouth, the nostrils, and the ear blacked out. Mouth, nostrils, and ear. As close to that as you can. You see how this like triangle right here at the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
Like that triangle should get all the way blacked in, and then this whole part, big black blob.
Gotcha.
If you start to lose the shape in your mind, look at the negative space and look at the shape of the negative space.
What do you mean by the negative space? Like
So
the shadow?
let's say if I'm doing the shape of the black part,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm doing. But if the shape ends up a little warped or something, I can always look at the white space between and look at how that part of the shape is, and that'll help me to see the black shape better.
Mm,
Because these are like weird organic kind of shapes, right?
right.
And so if like on the paper, if I'm doing one thing, most of your shapes are going to be perfect because you already did the outline straight on the photo.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something you'll have to worry about probably. But if you lose the shape a little bit, look at the positive space versus the negative space.
Gotcha.
It's more of an issue if you're having to use like a grid method or no grid method. But that's what I love about this graphite transfer method is you got a good photo, you can get good shapes. The 2B is kind of pretty close to what you had like in school.
Mm-hmm.
The one in school is a 2HB, which is just what they call them, but they're pretty close to a 2B.
Yeah, remember we always had to have number 2 pencils for standardized tests.
Yeah. And B is a slightly softer than HB, but they're pretty close. I have 2 HBs here. If you like those school pencils, I don't really use them for too much. I like to have a few in my bag in case I run out of everything else. Like I'd rather have school pencils than no pencils.
Yeah.
I did a good deal of a portrait for my dad with school pencils. My stepdad. This is my biological father today who I'm drawing.
All right, I think
Nostrils. Okay. Now this darkest spot here, this has a shape to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can see there. That all needs to be completely blacked in and brought up a little bit to about there. And that can still be pretty dark.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that whole shape there. If I grab any bottled water.
Please, there's some cold ones in the fridge if you prefer.
Temperature water absorbs nice.
Yeah, I'm a fan as well.
Oh, there's muffin.
Yeah, you can pick those up. Help yourself. All that snacks are from yesterday, so all of it's. Now, should I put more dark up here, or am I just going for that black spot right now?
So we're almost there. I think now, if you wanted to switch to 2B pencil, because we got all of our gigantic black splotches, everything's out of the way. All of our big shapes are there. You can start sort of filling in with the 2B. And we'll start with the darkest parts. So like right here, this value change here.
Mm-hmm.
Start dark and work your way back using a gradient. And I'll kind of show you how to do it. It's a little bit of whip shading sort of a thing.
Okay.
Basically, so like let's say I have that transition on my drawing here. Okay, and here's that transition. You already have that marked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now this part of her face is the darkest part. So that's what I'm going to start with. Like this. I'll just do some really light down. And then these 2Bs can draw incredibly light. But you want to get darker, closer to the line. because that's what it's actually doing. It's darkest closest to the line, but then you're quickly shading it out so that it's less like that.
Gotcha.
So it makes a gradient. You do many layers to make that gradient right, and you push down hardest where you want it to be darkest. And you can see how that is a gradient.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're trying to do with this area here, and you're trying to make this fan shape, this sort of boomerang looking kind of shape right here.
Gotcha.
That's the darkest part of it. And on the other side of that is absolute white. Right, and this line is already definite, so there's no need to like sort of fake that line here. Like that should be a good, nice, solid line like that, because that line is you've already marked that line perfectly, so you could go right on it and mark the darkness that it needs to be.
Gotcha.
Alright, get my reference photo out here. Alright, take a look at this value here. You can see it right next to it, and you're probably good. So I'd start fanning that shade a lot lighter. Now, another thing you can do is squint and look at that, and all of a sudden the black and white values jump out, and now you can compare them here. See that?
Mm-hmm.
See how
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
all this dark here and there. So you'll start shading down with your 2D into that area. This area you got coming real nice. They'll put a lot more lead down right in here. Make sure that this shape right here, this V, is really important to the overall look of the face. Yeah, and this background stuff here, we'll do that at the very end. I'll help you make that. And these little wrinkle things, they're real easy to do. This is where your line of your work's going to go.
Now, when you're shading, are you trying to do all the same direction, or does it matter as far as the?
You kind of want to imagine the shape of the object and kind of sort of go in the shape of the object. See how this is kind of roundish.
So you want to go along long
I kind of go along
long strokes.
everything has this like roundness to it, so I kind of do it. I kind of go in the shape of what the thing is that I'm trying to shade.
Gotcha.
That kind of helps me out. But basically, yeah, it's usually less is more, and you got to do a bunch of different layers. So just getting it kind of like going and kind of understanding where your big main shapes are and all that.
Mm-hmm.
you've got a good deal of work already done on this one. Just make sure I get that. And that's not normal. Annotated quite well. And the longer you work on it, the better it'll look. Yeah, you're getting it. You're getting it now. birthday, my friend. What's going on? Nice. Oh yeah, happy birthday, Kyle. Just doing my little drawing thing right now. Richie Darling's drawing show. Just finishing up this portrait. What you doing? Yeah, I do. Perfect. I'm over at Tommy's right now. It's Lord. Yep. Okay. Just give me a call. Right on, man. Talk to you soon. Peace. It's Kyle's birthday today.
Oh, nice.
Happy birthday, Kyle.
Because it's always May the 4th, Cinco de Mayo, and then Kyle's birthday. How you feeling about it?
Good. The lips are tricky, but I think I'm.
Yep.
Something.
Yep, I go even darker.
Yeah.
Yep. If you squint, you can really see it.
It's just hard to.
Yeah, there's more layer. Yep. Always takes a bunch of layers. See the advantage of having a darker pencil, though, right? Just to jump to if you need it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do some sfumato on the shading too. When you get a little more lead laid down, we'll do some of that.
Okay.
Make it look a little more realistic. Help it blend together better. Sfumato.
Yeah.
starting to get an eye for it now. Can see what you're doing.
So when you use the electric eraser, what's the
For a fine white line in a black, or to draw back into black. Like if I screwed this line up real bad, I could erase it back to where it needs to be.
okay?
Also, like getting these just like little shapes, so just
like
like
the bright whites.
just a little spot. If there's a catch light in the eye, it's good for that.
Okay.
Hair though, mostly. Hair is kind of the specialty of it. Oh, throwing my tip. Getting a little wild on it.
Dangerous game.
There you go. You're getting it, using that artistic eye. Just squint and it'll jump right out at you. Like, where does it need more lead? Right there.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just fix all the things that are wrong with it.
Dude,
That's all it
this
is.
is the best method of doing this. I love this method.
You just look at it and you go, well, that's not quite right.
In this instance, this style of art, yes. Doing my drawing show, you know. It's a Monday sort of thing.
That's right.
This gives me a boost of confidence for the whole rest of the week when I do these.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Because it's like, look what I already got done. And I did that show on Monday when I was tired. Stick that line right there too. That'll help you. Just watched Rocky 4 again the other night.
Oh yeah. Hold up.
It's the quintessential 80s movie, I'll say. Yeah. Took me right back. In the burning heart, just about to bust. It's good stuff.
I've never seen that one. I haven't really seen many Rocky movies.
This is the one where he fights the big bad Russian, Ivan Drago, played by Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren. Yeah, okay. Does he win or lose?
Well, Dolph comes and, spoiler alert, internet,
In case you haven't seen Rocky 4
in
yet.
case you haven't seen Rocky 4. You can pause our conversation and go watch it right now. The Russian comes over and beats Apollo Creed first. Kills him in the fight. Apollo Creed and Rocky are like...
Kills him?
Kills him in the fight, yeah. And then Rocky's like, no, he has to fight him. Because he killed Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
But the Russian will only fight him in Russia. And he has to train in Russia.
Mm.
So he has to go train. And he uses a very rustic sort of... He's like using bison yokes and stuff. And wheelbarrows and chopping wood, like out in the Russian, like Siberian, to do his training. And Ivan Drago is like taking steroids and running on like super modern computer powered gym equipment, like with computer graphics and stuff on it. It's a big theme in the show. It's an anti-steroid message. The irony being that they were both on steroids at the time.
Yeah, Hollywood just encouraging the hell out of that.
But Rocky beats him in the end.
Okay, good.
But they really, really ham it up, man. Like Apollo didn't look like he had a shot at all. He just got beaten to a bloody pulp. And then they let Rocky get beat up for like the first 3 rounds, like take like 30 punches right in the face without doing anything. And when he finally comes back, you're like, yeah,
Get him, Rock!
get him.
Get him!
In the burning heart. All right, getting close now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think I give this nose a little more lead here in this area, and like this, kind of bring this out a little more. And see how this part is all the lightest part, and on that edge is light, but the rest of it's kind of gradient. Yeah. And then we'll sfumato it a little bit. You can even go a little darker on this extreme edge here. And then we're pretty close to getting ready for all that, yeah. So what this does is this will give you a skin-like texture.
This is Tommy. Cool. Hey, if we paid off those student loans, then I'll be asking for more money.
Oh man. So now that we're to this point, this will give you a skin-like texture.
Okay.
So take this, and I'll kind of show you on my dad here. See how this has the brush strokes, the pencil marks?
Mm-hmm.
Once I do a little bit of this, it kind of gets rid of that. So just use it over the whole face, basically. Yeah,
Just like the whole thing?
Yep. And then you can kind of look. You'll want to do some more shading afterward, but you'll kind of see what it's doing. Don't spread it too much into the white there, but you can kind of see what it's doing now.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of gets rid of those like harsh lines. So this is the sfumato.
Yep. This is the technique they were using back in the Renaissance. Now you can it takes the contrast back out of it. Now squint again, and now you can see where even more. You need even more here. You need more on the chin, more here. Darker. It all looks pretty good. This transition is a little more extreme, so you need probably some more graphite in this area. And you could tidy up this shape here. See that white shape here? How big your white shape is there compared to this small white shape there. So you can kind of sort of gradient that out with your number 2B.
Gotcha.
And then also, like, here's where you could use this electric eraser. You can go bzzz, and get that light, bzzz, get that light, bzzz, get that little catch light right there.
Okay.
Maybe right, like, bzzz, bzzz, just for those two little marks right there. Bzzz.
Gotcha.
These ones we're going to create with nothing but paper towel. It will look like this. Like, you see how these are like folds in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just go to the darkest spot here, and you can kind of see, like, that'll just represent that little fold, just like that. See that smudge? It's almost identical to the way that actually looks. So we'll be using smudges to get that.
Is this part of the?
That's the picture.
Oh, really? I thought that was me.
That probably is a combination of both.
I thought this was all white.
There's the actual shapes of it.
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, you got a little bit of finger marks on it there. But that, and this part here is all just going to be, and it's all this too. That'll just be going into the dark and kind of making that shape.
Gotcha.
That's fantastic, man. What a wonderful thing.
I wonder if this baby's having like a day. Like they can feel that I'm staring at a picture of them.
Yeah, you sit there and keep tinkering with that for another 15, 20, 30 minutes. I think you'd be happy with the way it's come up. You can see it's pretty close.
Yeah, for real, it is.
It's like getting there. So all you gotta do is just sit and keep sculpting that, and you'll get it. There kind of comes a point in the drawing where you just all of a sudden you just see it. You see every single thing that needs just a little bit tweak to it. And the closer and closer it gets, the better you start to feel about the drawing. There's a lot of points about halfway through where I'm getting really frustrated, and I've many points in time just set it down and don't even go back to it. But now that I'm a more mature artist, I tend to finish the ones I start these days. Captivating conversation today.
I know, right? I feel bad for the Patreon.
Hey, this is. I don't know, man. This is kind of
more
ASMR.
just me trying to do something.
It's like ASMR kind of though.
Yeah. Yeah, crank it up real loud. You just hear that.
Just hanging out in the room with artists. Kind of sometimes make you be inspired to do art yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe someone could home drawing along 12 years from now.
They had 2-for-1 on the massages, and you want me to meet you there? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Oh, dang. Well, what you gonna do? Right on. What time is it now? Oh, really? Dang. Probably got about 45 minutes here before I'm finished up. Cool, man. Right on. Well, I'll talk to you real soon then. Bye. Damn, it wasn't 2-for-1 massages like I thought it might be.
Damn. Dream.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, it came along.
All right. Yeah, and I would just take that paper towel now and just give a little bit of the black and just kind of give it this directionality. But you can see it's just a blob of not much, but it does have some detail there. We'll draw some of that back in too with the electric eraser. It differentiates that this is part of the bed and not part of the bedding system that she's wearing, because there's a nice hard white line basically right in that area. And then you can take your eraser and just drag it across to get that white stripe there. A couple of those white stripes just to kind of mimic this white striping. Yeah, just like that. And these are kind of like little blobs of like little pillowy kind of blobs. Yep. And then as far as you really want to, after that wipe down one time, you want to hit it one more time because that dulls the whitest part of it. You just lift it one good last time across there, and you get. Yeah, and then this part, this little stuff here, let's make sure that's not markings. Yeah, that's some markings. So that we don't even need.
Just a little bit up top here, really. I think it's just these and those three main ones there.
Yeah, you can pretty much do that with your finger and the thing. I would just do that with the. Yep. or the deal. Yeah, and I'll have you a one you can do your your self portrait next time.
Yeah.
So I'll have it. I sent the off to the print shop today.
Definitely a baby.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty impressive, my friend.
How about that?
Pretty impressive, my friend.
That was a fast 2 hours. Here's the original. This is what I made with a pencil and a friend.
Yeah.
That's so cool. How about that? Yeah, now I'll have a basic idea of the techniques, and then next week we can really, I think, talk more, and it'll be me and on there, and I'll try to get it set up so I can do a time lapse of mine.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, man, I appreciate the lesson. That's so
course.
cool.
I think I'm going to probably break this one up into two. This is a challenging one because of all the details.
Yeah.
We've been at it a good long while today anyway.
Yeah, we just put 2 hours in.
Sweet. Well, I got good progress. You got good progress.
Right on, man.
Look at that thing. Ah, sleepy baby. Now you gotta sign it.
That's right. There it is. Look at that Patreon. You can do anything you don't give up on. All right. Calling it.